Alright, so excuse the dogs and their squeaky toys and occasional zombie sounds as they play. But right now we're just going to work on the snowballed 4-patch for the center of the giant Posy. I'm going to need 2 with the light background and 2 with the medium background. And it doesn't matter which corner you snowball, because you can always rotate it. We're only snowballing one corner. Gives us some options. Make sure that when you're snowballing, you're putting your fabric right sides together. Normally, if you have a solid, it doesn't particularly matter. Especially with a batik. Alright. Making sure I did them all the proper way. Now we'll head over to the ironing board and iron them. All right, here we are over at my ironing board. I'm just going to get them all kind of facing the same direction. And we'll get ironing. So I'm just gonna iron towards the corner. Pull the next one up. Iron towards the corner. Next one up. And again. Now, you can press your seams however you like to. For this quilt, I am mostly pressing open. So before I even trim, I'm just gonna open this and open up the seam before I've trimmed it, because it saves my fingers from getting burnt. There we go. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and trim these up. All right, so I've snowballed the corners on all of these. I've ironed. Whenever I ironed, I opened up the seam. Now what I'm going to do is take my 2 and put them back together just like how I did to stitch them. Line up my ruler on the seam and trim, and my seam still wants to lay flat. Save my fingers from being burnt and open up my seam just like I like it. So go ahead and keep going at it. There we go. Now that we have all of these done, we can start laying them out. gotta remember how I had it now. Thank goodness I took a picture. There we go. Perfect. All right, now that we've laid them back out, I'll double check that this is right against the picture I took, and then we'll just sew together these two, and then the 4-patch. All right, we'll go ahead and line these up and get to go. All right, I went ahead and gave those a quick little press. I did press towards the dark side so I could nest my seams. I'm gonna add a single pin to that nested seam, just to give me a little more stability. And we'll go ahead and complete this 4-patch. Went ahead and ironed it. We got a really nice meat there. I did open up that seam so it'll lay a little flatter. Gonna go ahead and add it to the rest, and we'll keep on sewing together in our patchwork. The way that I'm approaching this very large block, it is a 24-inch finished block whenever we're done, is basically a 9-patch. So we're working in sections. There's units. I've already finished the bottom row. I wanted to make sure that it was looking right before I went ahead and did everything else. So now what we're going to do is work on the outer components to the middle row. I'll sew these together, and then I'll complete this row and attach this row to this, and then we'll work with the top. Now, whenever I do the top, I'll work in conjunction. So I'll go ahead and sew like items together on both sides just to make it go faster, especially when you still have snowball corners to do, because I like to use a 1/4-inch guide to make sure I have good seams. So I only like to move that a few times. Well, let's keep going. Next piece we're going to work on is our corner unit. There are 4 of these. They are made the exact same way. You just rotate it clockwise as you go around the block. This unit has 6 pieces. It includes 2 snowball corners. We will attach our snowball pieces to these, both of them. And then what we'll do is we will complete a 4-patch. So this corner will come in and attach there. That'll attach there. And then once we do this, we will combine all of them to finish off our 4-patch. Make sure whenever you are doing your snowball corners, you do them correctly. You need them to go 2 different directions. The easiest way for me to do this is I make a stack of 4 of them, because to complete the quilt you'll need 4 of each. And I start by first doing 1, and all of them go through the sewing machine at the same time, the same way. And then I do the other one, all going through the sewing machine their way, which is just a little bit of a turn. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of these snowball pieces. The first one we're going to start with is this one, which has the shorter main fabric on the left and it full length on the right. To make this one, we will take our main print, put it down. Oh, let me change my foot real quick. Center my needle. All right, you're going to take this, put it down in front of you, and then point it so that the left side is facing higher. Grab your background piece. Mine is a tone on tone, so you want to make sure that you have the right side down. Go ahead and match up your corners. Now, whenever you're doing this, you can always double check by holding your finger down on the corner that'll be chopped off. It's going to be on the right side of the needle when you're sewing, and fold up. Just a quick check to see if you're doing it right. So again, we need 4 of these for the quilt. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my last one, and then we'll move on to the opposite piece. Now, I'm going to leave that right there just so you can see the difference this direction. So here was our first one, short on the left, long on the right. And here's our second one, long on the left, short on the right. As you can see, they are opposites, and it is exactly what we need for our block. So I'm going to go ahead and iron these, and then we'll get to piecing our new units to make our corner pieces. Even though they are opposites, this next step is the same. We're going to sew on our background piece to the side that has the short of our main. So on this one, it's over here, and then on these, it goes over here. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch those together, and then we'll just keep on trucking along. Again, make sure that if you're using a tone on tone, it's going the right way. got all these done. I'm gonna go ahead and skip ironing right now. I'm just gonna start sewing on the other units, and then I will iron afterwards. If I need to, I will press some of these with my fingers. This unit with the snowball on the left side gets our big solid white background square, and it is white to white. So we'll go ahead and attach those. Remember, in this quilt you have 4 of these, but I've already made 2. These are my last 2. And again, we're gonna go white to white. This is the snowball on the left piece. Now for our snowball on the right piece, it is going to be main fabric to main fabric. Get those stitched together. Get those stitched together. After we get this all stitched up, I'll head over to the ironing table and we'll give it a good press. Now when we go to attach together our forward patch, I want to make sure that I nest my seams. It just makes for an easier job later. If you're wondering about the fabric, a little bit of a problem. I pulled a lot of this from my stash, which came from a box from an estate sale, who knows how long ago. The only fabric I can answer, but even then it's iffy, is the Tone on Tone, which I got from Missouri Star Quilt Co. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but I believe it was by Wilmington. And then I have a solid pink that I'm using, and it is called Tea Rose, and it is by Waverly from Walmart. Let's go ahead and get some ironing done. Whenever I iron, I am going to iron my seams towards the large single piece of fabric. I'm going to do that on both of them. So this time it'll be towards the background, and then for the other one it's going to be towards our main fabric. And I'm saying main fabric loosely because we have a lot of different mauve, dusty rose colors in this block. And the way I designed the block is to look like the mini petals of a blossoming peony. A peony is what I had in mind anyway. So we're going to say main fabric loosely. This one. There we go. Look at how pretty that's looking. And there we go. Let's go ahead and complete our 4 patches. All right, I have 2 of these and 2 of these. And how they are going to go is the solid main fabric is going to go up in the top right. And then I made a mistake. I guess we'll take it up to first time video nerves. I should have sewn this block to this side. So we'll just go ahead and rip those seams and do it again. All right, well, crisis averted, better 2 seams than 4. So now that I fixed my little boo-boo, I'm gonna sew these 2 to this and we'll get right back to it. Still nesting my seams. There we go. What does everybody watch or listen to when they sew? I seem to binge things, and it just kind of depends on my mood. One down. One corner unit to go. Right now I'm currently rewatching the Bridgerton series on Netflix because I love it. And I'd love to read the books, but 4 kids and a farm, I just can't see. I don't know. Guess whenever I get the chance to read a book, I just really enjoy turning the pages. There we go. Not too bad on our corners. Not too shabby at all. I'll go ahead and iron these up. Now these seams I will iron open just because it helps it be flatter, and we'll move on to the next part. We are making amazing progress on this. We finished our other 2 corner units. I have 3 of these side units left to do. It's this piece right here, and we're gonna go ahead and get to work on those. So let's get at it. Okay, this block has 9 pieces to it. Isn't that crazy? So what we're gonna do is we are going to snowball these 2 corners, the T-rows with this main print, and then we're gonna snowball all 4 corners on this darker piece. The 2 top are gonna get our smaller background squares, and the 2 bottom are going to get our main fabric. Woo. And whenever they meet up, it helps create a very beautiful 3rd row of petals for our Posy. I have already finished, let's move those out of the way. I've already finished all of these except for this one. This is what we are going for. Again, we're just snowballing these corners. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna remove my 1/4" foot. Move my needle to center. Now, I don't want to keep breaking my thread, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this purple piece because it's got a lot of snowballing to do. And I'm going to start with the same background, and I'm just going to snowball one of its corners as well. Alright, I snowballed this corner. Now going along the same side, other corner, I'm going to snowball this one now. Same thing on this darker piece. Snowball down here. Again, make sure that it is right side to right side, and just keep going. Go ahead and trim that thread. So this one is done. All it needs is ironed and trimmed. This piece also needs ironed and trimmed, and then we need to snowball all of these corners. Now I still have three total to do this way, so I'm going to go ahead and do these all at once. But I need to iron and trim them up first. Just makes for a cleaner block with less excess fabric. All right, now that I've finished ironing and trimming all of my snowballs on this lovely piece, we're going to attach our long skinny background pieces to this unit. And I got 3 of them, so let's get to it. let's take a minute to recap where we are. I've pieced the bottom completely. I pieced our center block. I have the last 2 corner units done, and now we just have these side units. There's 3 of them left to do. I need to attach this left piece to the right piece of these side units. Do it 3 times, and then we can start finishing putting together our top and our middle row. And there she is, my giant Posy block. Isn't she gorgeous? She's not quite perfect. Not all of my corners match, and we're not exactly 24.5 inches, but she's close enough. And it's gonna look beautiful in the quilt when I'm ready. Thanks for joining me tonight in my sewing space. I'm Kendra with Country Ivie Stitchery, and I hope you enjoyed our carefree creative chaos as we played with this new giant Posy block. Bye guys.